is the basic definition for nutrition? The process by which the organism has to take the food. Now, I told you already, the organisms require energy for doing all the processes, right? So, how does this energy an organism obtain? The source of the energy is present in the food. And how this food enters in the body, the process by which an organism takes up this food into its body, and that process is called as nutrition. How the food source which is available outside gets into the living organism, and that process is called as nutrition. And whatever the food source that is available outside the body is not of the same type. It is of different sources available. The material what is available outside is of different composition, different complexity, and each organism has to use a different mechanism to utilize that food source into its own body, either by ingesting or breaking down into simple material and then intaking it, or by simple diffusion. If you see unicellular organism, they use a very simple mode of intaking the food particle, whereas if you see the complex organisms, it requires like different mode of intaking the food, and they have specialized organ system in their body. The basic understanding of cell combined to form tissue, and tissue combined to form organ, and different organs combined to form the organ system, and each organ system is specialized in doing a particular function. Now, coming back with this concept of nutrition, and each organism require a different method or mechanism to break down and get that nutrient inside the body, we just get into the first category, that is about the plants. And plants prepare their own food by the process called as photosynthesis, and since they prepare their own food, it is called as autotrophic organisms, or generally autotrophs. And coming back to the autotrophic mode of nutrition, where they prepare their own food. Who prepares their own food? Plants prepare their own food. How do they prepare their own food? What is the process called as? The process of preparing the own food is called as photosynthesis. How do plants prepare the food? By the process called as photosynthesis. And what does the term photo denotes? Photo is the term that denotes for the light, and synthesis means what? Using the light energy, they synthesize their food material, and that is why it is given as photosynthesis. Now we will see how the process takes place, and this is the overall reaction of the photosynthesis, overall equation which describes the process of photosynthesis. Now coming back, what are the raw materials that are used for the synthesis of the food material, and what is the product produced out of that? Now coming to the raw materials, what the plant requires for producing its own food. The raw material that is required for the plant to prepare its own food is, the first one is carbon dioxide. That is a gaseous material that is required by the plant to prepare its food, and the next one is water. So these are the two important raw material that is required by the plant to prepare its own food. Now how does these raw material enter the plant? What is the port of entry? What is the entry point for these raw material to enter into the plant? For example, if you see, carbon dioxide is a gaseous material. How does this gaseous material which is present outside in the atmosphere enter the plant? What is the entry point present? So these gaseous material enter the plant through tiny openings present in the leaf, and that is called as stomata. So stomata are the tiny opening which are present in the leaf, and you have the epidermal cell. Epidermal cell means what? The outer layer of the cell is called as the epidermal cell. We have lower epidermis and upper epidermis layer. We'll discuss about that, and first we'll have an overall idea of this process of photosynthesis, and then we'll discuss about the stomata and what is the role of stomata. So coming back over here, carbon dioxide is a gaseous material which enters through the opening tiny pore called as stomata. Next, the water. So how does water enter into the plant body? So we all pour water, we all water the plant, and usually we water the plant in the soil. The root is present below the soil. Though we pour the water reaches to all the parts of the plant body. We are not pouring water to each plant body part, right? So we just pour water to the root, and who does the function? Root does the function where it absorbs the water and transport to all the part of the plant body. Again in root, who's playing the important role of transporting the water from the root to all the parts of the body? Can you guess? Yes, you guessed this right. It is nothing but the xylem vessels which are present in the root cells, which transport the water from the root cell to all the parts of the plant body, especially now where all these process of photosynthesis is going to happen. It is going to happen in the leaf, which is called as the kitchen of the plant, where this process of photosynthesis is going to happen to produce the end product, that is glucose, and the byproduct, that is the sequence or repeated unit of glucose, is called as the starch. So now what is the next thing? We have chlorophyll pigment and sunlight. That also plays a very important role in the process of photosynthesis, where this chlorophyll is a pigment. Where is this pigment present? It is present in an organelle, cell organelle. Where is this chloroplast present? Again, it is present inside the cell. Like chloroplast, we do have different kind of cell organelles present. And what is the role of this chlorophyll pigment? It captures or absorbs the light. It captures or absorbs the light energy and convert this light energy into chemical energy. And as a result, what is the product produced out of all these things? It produces glucose, and that is the end product, and as a result it also releases oxygen and water as the end product of this overall photosynthesis process. But how does this process takes place? It is a stepwise process that is happening. So what is the stepwise process that is happening? The first step is absorption of light energy by chlorophyll. Who is absorbing the light energy? It is absorbed by chlorophyll. What is chlorophyll? It is a pigment. So what happens is chlorophyll is the pigment which absorbs the light energy. Where is the light energy source? It is coming from the sun. Okay, that part is over. What is second step? Step 2 is what? Converting this light energy to chemical energy. So what is the second step? Light energy cannot remain the same way. It has to be converted into chemical energy. So that is the second step, where light energy is converted to chemical energy. And how does this, and along with that, what are the other steps that is happening? Splitting of water into hydrogen and oxygen. Now water is getting splitted. So water is split into hydrogen and oxygen. So which water? You have this water here, no, H2O. So this is split into hydrogen and oxygen. And the third step is that reduction of carbon dioxide. What is the definition for reduction? So it is nothing but addition of hydrogen. So when hydrogen molecules, hydrogen ions are added, carbon dioxide get converted into carbohydrate. What is the simple form of carbohydrate? Glucose is the simple form of carbohydrate. And repeated unit of glucose result in the formation of starch. Excess glucose is stored in the plant body in the form of starch, whereas in animals it is stored in the form of glycogen. So this is the basic idea of this is the basic concept of how the process of photosynthesis is taking place. It takes place in such a way by the raw material carbon dioxide, water, and the presence of the pigment chlorophyll and sunlight releasing oxygen and water, and produces the end product called as glucose. This is the food that is produced by the plant, and this is stored in the form of starch. And this is how the stepwise process takes place. What is also happening, you know how to balance that equation. Here you can see 6 molecules of 6 carbon dioxide, 6 molecules of carbon dioxide. So what is the formula for the glucose? C6. So this 6 carbon dioxide, you have 6 carbon that comes down as C6, and coming back to hydrogen. So you have for 24 hydrogen, 12 into 2, 24 hydrogen. So how do you split that as 12 hydrogen comes here as H2L. The remaining, you know what is the formula for water? That is H2O. So remaining you bring it there as H2O. So if you balance 6 into 2, 12. So here you have 12 hydrogen, here you have 12 hydrogen, 12 plus 12, 24. So this 24 hydrogen is balanced. So it's present, and you have to check right side and left side, both are balanced. If you see in the desert plant, these steps will not take place one after the other immediately. So what happens is that at night time, they prepare an intermediate. The carbon dioxide is converted. They absorb the carbon dioxide at night time and prepare an intermediate. And now this intermediate is acted upon by the light energy in the morning time, and thereby the end of the photosynthesis gets completed in case of the desert plant.